If you are anything like me, then you love a good true crime documentary. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of obsessed with them. Like, if I wasn't in film, I feel like I would be, I don't even know what the word is. An investigator? Is that the word? I would just want to be a part of the crime investigations, is what I'm trying to say. If you are a fan of crime, then I have good news for you. Today on Top 10 Beyond the Screen, I have a list of the top 10 Netflix crime documentaries. And yes, I have probably seen every single one of them. I'm your host for this one. I'm Joss Bedard. Make sure you stick around to the end because I will be shouting out some of your comments. You can also creep us on social media. Our links are down below. And subscribe if you haven't already and ring the bell so you never miss another one of our videos. You don't want to, trust me. But let's get to the documentaries. Beginning the countdown at number 10 is Abducted in Plain Sight. This one hits close to home for a lot of people because the abductor is a close family friend. So it's one of those things we can all kind of relate to and think that it would actually never happen to our family. This true crime documentary tells the story of a family who gets manipulated by their neighbor and friend who abducts their adolescent daughter twice and marries her in Mexico when she is just 12 years old. There are a lot of sick and twisted details in this story. I've watched it twice. That's how good it is. It's one of those stories that you won't believe it until you watch it, but then again, when you're watching it, you just can't believe that it's actually real. Honestly. Story is crazy. Up next, number 9 is Don't F with Cats Hunting an Internet Killer. This one hit especially close to home for me because it happened literally close to home. The series follows the horrific case of a young man named Luke Magnotta who was killing innocent animals in videos online, but getting away with it because no one could find him. It then went as far as him killing an innocent man on camera, like filming the whole thing in a very gruesome way, and then it caused this huge nationwide manhunt after he just went into hiding. Because these videos were viral online because he was just sharing them so openly, like he bragged about them when he posted them. The entire internet got involved in this manhunt and he became one of Canada's most infamous murderers. Turns out that it all happened right outside of Toronto, Ontario, which is why I said it was close to home, which is why it's not too comforting. And it's definitely not a bragging right for Canada. Moving on to number 8 is Making a Murderer. It tells the story of a man and his nephew who got accused of a horrific crime that they may not have committed. That is the big debate. Did they do it or didn't they? The story begins with a man named Stephen Avery who served 18 years in prison for a wrongful conviction of sexual assault and attempted murder against a woman. He was released after proven innocent, and then years down the road he was charged again in 2005, and he was convicted for the murder of a woman named Teresa Halbach. His nephew, Brendan Dassey, who suffers from a learning disability, was also accused as an accessory in the murder as well. But Stephen and Brendan both claim innocent, and the series shows that the law department might be framing him after he filed a lawsuit against them for his first wrongful conviction. Rightfully so. He spent 18 years in prison for the wrong crime. Coming into number 7 is Amanda Knox. She became famous for all the wrong reasons after her trial became a worldwide sensation with all eyes on her and her boyfriend, Raphael. Amanda was an American woman who spent 4 years in an Italian prison after she was convicted in 2007 for the murder of an exchange student that she lived with at the time, Meredith Kircher. She was only 20 years old when the murder took place, and throughout the 8-year case, she actually got convicted twice. So you can imagine how it would feel being freed, but then being convicted again. In the series, Amanda and Raphael speak out for the first time since the case came to an official end. It's pretty interesting. I've watched this one twice also, and yeah, interesting to hear their sides. And by the end of it, you don't know if you believe her or not. It drives me nuts. Rolling to spot number 6 is Surviving R. Kelly. This documentary covers all details of the sexual allegations that have been brought against the famous singer R. Kelly. The series dives deep into the tangled history of the allegations throughout his career, and his victims/survivors all speak out about the details. It's a really difficult series to watch because these women go into detail, like extreme detail, about the sexual and mental abuse that they faced. I watched this one recently for the first time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was completely shocked. His allegations have always been in the media before, so I kind of knew about it, but seeing it from this perspective and just hearing all of the details is a completely different thing. I'm personally just happy that these women got a chance to share their side of the story on such a big platform. All right, guys, here at number 5 is a documentary, Killer Inside the Mind of Aaron Hernandez. People were intrigued about this one coming to Netflix because it shared all the details about the former professional football player who was a convicted murderer. The series explores the conviction against Aaron Hernandez for the murder of a man named Odin Lloyd. But throughout the different episodes, we learn that other crimes are also connected to the football player, and he ends up behind bars. You also get a deeper look at his personal life and how his past shaped his behavior, and also how the concussions from his sport has affected how his brain actually works. The series shares all the trial details through the interviews with his wife, friends, family, former football players, and other insiders. Sadly, Aaron is not involved in the series at all because he did commit suicide inside of his prison cell back in 2017. Sniping the 4th spot is Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Another popular murder case that became an international sensation and has been titled the most heavily reported missing person case in modern history. Quite a title. Back in May 2007, a 3-year-old girl named Madeleine McCann disappeared from her bed in a resort in Portugal where her family was vacationing. They were traveling from their home in the UK, and her parents had actually left her and her siblings in the room while they sat and had some drinks with their friends by the pool. They claimed that they had a system and they would take turns frequently going and checking up on the kids sleeping, but one time when they went to check, Madeleine was gone from her bed. The case soon turned into a debate on whether it truly was a missing persons case, or were the parents trying to hide something and they were actually the ones responsible for it. This one's a good one. It's very long though, not gonna lie. A lot of episodes, but it's worth watching. Taking over our 3rd spot is Casting JONBENET. You might have heard the story of a young girl named JONBENET Ramsey. Her death has become a famous mystery after the case was never solved and no one was ever held responsible for her death. Back in 1996, the young pageant queen was killed at the age of 6 and found in her family's basement in Boulder, Colorado. A handwritten ransom note was found with her body just 8 hours after she had been reported missing. The death was ruled as a homicide and the case went public nationwide because she was known for her time in those beauty pageants. In the Netflix series, the documentary kind of has a twist, and they hire local actors from JONBENET's real hometown to reenact the story. As well, you see interviews regarding the case from real people who were involved. To this day, the case is still unsolved, and it remains as an open investigation, which is mind-boggling. Someone literally got away with murder. That's crazy. At number 2, we have Strong Island. This Oscar-nominated documentary explores the murder of a man named William Ford. The documentary was directed by Yance Ford, who's actually the victim's brother. His film centers around the 1992 murder case when 24-year-old William was killed by a 19-year-old boy named Mark Reilly. An all-white grand jury in Suffolk County declined to indict his killer, who claimed that it was just self-defense. The Netflix series dives into the details of the case and reveals the grief and racial injustice that occurred during the trial. It actually won a few film festival awards for Best Documentary, and on top of the Oscar nomination, it was also nominated for an Emmy Award, which is wildly impressive. Finally, in the number 1 spot is Murder to Mercy, the Cyntoia Brown story. This one is the most recent documentary to be added to the Netflix platform. I watched it last week when it first came out, and let me tell you, I was not disappointed. It tells the story of a girl named Cyntoia Brown who was just 16 years old when she was convicted for the murder and robbery of a man named Johnny Allen. She claimed that he had paid her $150 to have sex with him, and that during the encounter, she feared for her life, and that caused her to shoot him. But prosecutors argued that she killed him in order to rob him. She was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. The series dives deep into her past, which may have caused some psychological damage, causing her to act differently during the murder night. I don't want to give away the ending on where she's at today, because it's a big, like, spoiler alert. Alright guys, those are the Netflix crime documentaries that I would personally recommend, and the internet is also recommending them, so let me know if you guys are excited for them or if you've seen any of them. But for now, I'm going to shout out some comments from best Netflix movies this month. Man, I'm just giving you guys a whole bunch of stuff to watch on Netflix. Shireen Roberts says, Joss, how about the top 10 anime? Okay, yes, I am a nerd. Honestly, I know nothing about anime, but you can head over to our nerd channel. We have a top 10 nerd channel, so go check them out. Clay Tallman says, Joss is the maddest, dopest hostess. Well, Clay, I know that you're just saying that because I said being called dope was like a huge compliment to me. But I appreciate the effort. Amino Chato says, me, sees a bunch of comments calling Joss cute. My mind, ooh, girl, you a player. Just because people are calling me cute doesn't mean I'm a player. I'm not calling everyone cute. I think they're the players. Katie Bratt says, thank goodness I've been looking for something good and different to watch. Well, stay tuned because we have a lot of lists like this one coming your way of things that you should watch. But that is all I have for you guys today. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Come say hi on social media. Let me know if you've watched these or you're going to. I want to hear from you. I've been your host, Joss. I will see you in the next one.